Thank you very much. This is the meeting for the RM of Springfield. Meeting agenda for November the 4th of 2025, starting at exactly 6 p.m. I'm Mayor Patrick Tarian. All of council is present. Councillor Miller is a distance away online. Then we'll call it to order at exactly 6. I'm going to do land acknowledgement. The RM of Springfield acknowledges that we are gathered on ancestral lands, Treaty 1 territory, traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji Cree, Dakota, Dene peoples, and on the national homeland of the Red River Métis. I also want to have a quick comment with regards to Remembrance Day being the 11th of November. Nice to see the audience. Everybody has a poppy on in remembrance of the veterans, recognizing the contribution that they had made in the world wars and any wars in general. So I want to commemorate everybody for doing that. And if I can go to approval of the agenda, item number 4, please. Got a mover and a seconder. Councillor Fuel and Warren. Any comments or questions with regards to approval agenda, Councillor Kaczynski?
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to add unscheduled delegation for Dr. Page, if it's possible.
You need a seconder. Have we got a seconder?
Yes, I'll second that, Mark.
Okay. I don't see that it's an emergency delegation there, but we will, if there's any comments before we vote on that, anybody have any comments? Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I'm just curious why Mr. Page didn't put in for a delegation ahead of time. I saw his email come through, and I believe if it's to contain with the Indemnity By-Law, he can apply for delegation for the next meeting because it is only first reading. Thank you.
And I can comment, I reiterate Deputy Mayor's comments there. Emergency delegations are specifically for that. There's no reason for this. There's plenty of time to have something prepared well in advance there. This is, and I had the same email, and it's in regards to the Indemnity By-Law. This is the first reading we're tabling it today, and so there's really nothing more than that. So I don't think it meets the emergency components of an emergency delegation. He's had many opportunities with regards to this, and we've been quite lenient. Councillor?
Mr. Mayor, I want to point it out there is not such a thing on our procedure bylaw, emergency delegation. It's only on schedule of delegation.
Okay. Okay, then if there's no other comments, Councillor Miller?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. You indicated that he's had many occasions to speak on this issue. Can you name one where he's come in as a delegation and speaking on this particular issue? I don't believe there's one.
He hasn't. Not on this issue,
okay.
no.
So then why would you say there's many occasions he's had a chance to speak about this when he hasn't? It's kind of misinformation that you use, right?
No. Okay. Any other comments?
And secondly, I'm going to say that it's on agenda today, so that's why Dr. Page wants to speak on this issue. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Mr. Page can put in his delegation for the next time we appear. Yes, he'll have plenty of time to do so. So we can hear the resolution, then we can do the vote.
Be it resolved that Daniel Page be added to the agenda as an unscheduled delegation.
First of all, the first question will be for those in support. Councillor Kaczynski and Miller. Those opposed? Councillors Warren, Fuel, and Tarian. So defeated. Thank you. Any other questions or comments with regards to the agenda? I see none. If I pose the question, those in support of approval?
I have one. I would like to put an unfinished business report from CEO on complaints that we're supposed to receive as a council from, I think was sometimes in October 21st.
Is it an
Meeting?
active complaint, you mean?
Yes, yeah.
That'd be Kapaki then, right?
No, it was for the last 6 months. How many complaints did we have? From the planning department and administration.
I can't speak for the CEO, but I'll let her speak, but I thought you got that already.
No, we didn't. We didn't receive that yet. Not complaints.
Okay, CEO can add that.
So I think what I presented to council was the January to October stats for 2025 showing 806 service requests received. So we don't mark them as complaints. They're marked as service requests. So that's over every department, 806 from January to October 2025. 699 of those have been closed. So the remaining are still open and active.
Yes, but I want to know how many people filled the complaint report.
And when
Do we have any or not?
No, I mentioned to council that's the only one we've received.
Okay, so can we see it? Like I requested, so at least I should get it. Like
Sorry, see what?
I should, if I request it, then I should get that report.
Yeah, I provided that to council on October 28th.
By email?
No, it's called the Resident Complaints Discussion Document, and it included all the service requests, the pie graph chart, and it's broken down by department. So I can send that to you again.
Well,
okay, why don't we continue? Why don't we continue with the agenda then, Councillor, there, and then we can add that to unfinished business.
I have some other points I would like to point it out. Yeah, the CEO is responsible for advising and informing the council operation and affairs of the municipality. This is not the first time that CEO is refusing to provide me with that information. I have been had applied through Freedom of Information Act on appeals and on ombudsman and not getting information. This is why I want the complaints request made public. The municipality has a complaint from the planning department. All the departments have such a forms. Why, if not, why not? There is a lot of policies, and then there is a complaint policy which is not being followed.
So October 28th, I advise you that that is the only complaint form we've received. Planning is the only department that uses that form. No other department uses that. I provided you that service request breakdown. It's not going to have the particulars of 806 service requests.
Okay, so I want to know if this residents has even addressed that this complaint exists in our municipality or not? Or it's only on our website and that's where they can go to?
That's a form that planning created. So when people come into the office, they have to fill that out so that we have a written request form filled out with the particulars.
So this is like complaint or this is just request for service?
I don't know. What does it say on the top?
Well, it's a complaint form, Municipality of Springfield.
So that's a complaint form that the planning office uses. We don't use it at our office. Public Works doesn't use it. I don't know what other information you're looking for.
So in the last 6 months, nobody complained, just that one from Mr. Kopecki?
He's the only one that's filled out that complaint form.
Okay.
Everybody else would be part of that service request tracking.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So there's no need to add it to unfinished business, and it's taken care of now. So why don't we, any other questions with regards to Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I think I just wanted to take a continuation from where the CAO left off. When people have things that need to be done or complaints, which I'm learning after being on council for over 10 years, that there's the service request piece on the website. So we ask that all residents that have complaints or any type of work that needs to be done or that to send it in as a service request. Each of the departments will get who it pertains to, and that will be looked after. You will get a confirmation number also sent to you. So you will take that confirmation number down and keep that on your file if you don't hear back. I filled out the first one this week and I got that confirmation number, and even council is going to learn how to do that. So if a resident phones us, we can enter it ourselves into a service request and get that confirmation number. So it's a process again that it's a change of using the website to send in your request of whatever work needs to be done or complaint in that matter. So I'd just like to share that with everybody. Thank you.
Councillor.
Thank you. So I would say that the request for service is completely different than a request for complaint about we are not adhering to our procedure to when we dictated to the residents that have to be done conditional use. I'm sorry, yeah, conditional use. So if who is gonna from our administration following on the conditional use if it's a breach or not, because that's what happened with Mr. Kompeki. So this is different than request just for service.
Well, the request for service, I guess, could be construed as a complaint. They're complaining about the neighbor's weeds. They're just calling it a service, again, like a service ticket there, and they're addressing that. So I think it's a play on words, but we're addressing everything that comes through the office with on our chart here, like the chart that you got and we all got. Those are the complaints that we have, and it's broken down. I think 82% is public works. Vast majority is public works.
I understand, but who is playing on the words? Not me, because I don't. Because if we don't enforce our conditional use, then we don't really have any respect for the bylaws and anything else in our municipality if we don't follow that up.
Well, we are following it up. It's all followed up with the file.
Well, we're gonna discuss this further, I guess, in our closed meeting about situation, Mr. Kompeki, and then we're gonna proceed with that further. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Then maybe we can get a show of hands. Go ahead, Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just following up, not to be argumentative, but for Councillor Fuel, you have to remember, of course, that not all residents have access to computers or are computer literate. So I don't know why we want to create another barrier to people complaining to us. In fact, as councillor, I've taken it upon myself, and I hope you did, and I'm sure you have, when there are complaints that we submit them to the RM on the resident's behalf. So in other words, I don't want to shrug it off when somebody has a concern or a question or an issue to say, oh, you know what, just go to the website and you can do it. No, we ought to be doing it on their behalf, advocating for them and so forth. So I think it's another barrier. It's an insulation source between the councillor, the administration, and of course the departments. And I think the CEO also said, if I'm not right, that there's not these forms available for all departments. So there's some improvements that we have to do, but by no means should we be creating another barrier, and especially for those who don't have access to computers and such. Thank you.
Well, we had discussed that at the working group there, and this isn't all. We're not telling the public you have to do it on a computer. That hasn't gone by the wayside. You can still phone, and it can be done over the phone. This isn't everything overnight. There, everybody's got to be done on a computer. It's not. This people phone, we can do that there at the time. This is just an option, and this is the option that council is going to get. On the small crash course on how we can enter into the complaints and so on with that. And to be frank with you, I'm not likely going to be doing that. I just I'll do my email complaint with all the data there that's required and send it off there. And so it's an option for council to do so. I'm not terribly strong on the computer part of it there, so I'm not going to change my way. Neither should anybody else in the public there. They still have that right just to phone, and people are phoning. Like I say, we got 800 different complaints, I think is the number there. Don't quote me on that. There we've handled well over 600 of those complaints, and they're not all on the computer. We're not asking people to do it on the computer, but that option is there. Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, I'd just like to add to Councillor Miller, you are correct, and that it was just an option that I looked at doing, and the residents can do as they wish. They can send it strictly to us. They can phone us. We can administer it through email, through our administration. So the options are there for everything. It's just another alternative. That's all it is. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? I see none. Those in support of the approval of the agenda? This is unanimous, so carried. We can go to the adoption of the minutes, so please. That's item 5. Mover and a seconder, please. Taryn and Warren. Any questions with regards to October 21st?
Oh.
Andy, do you have your hand up?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. On October 21st, item number 9, there is stated in the minutes that it's 3 items should say items.
So item number 9. So whereas a consent agenda has been submitted consisting of 3 items.
Yeah, and should be not 3 items, just items.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Plural. Items with an S. Any other comments? I see none. Those in support of the adoption of the minutes for October 21st, please. And show of hands. That is unanimous, so carried. Let's get to reports, so please. That's item 6.1, elected officials reports. A mover and a seconder of that too, please. Fuel and Warren. Questions or comments with regards to that from council? Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to supplement my report with a couple of things, and one is very, very critical, of course. As anticipated, the Sio Silica project is before us once again, so I just want to encourage our residents to go to Manitoba Environment and Climate Change website if they can, or contact us directly. Or I have another suggestion for what the RM should do, but they need to add their name to the environmental assessment process public comment portfolio. The file for Sio is 6275, and comments have to be into the Department of Environment by December 1st. And that's to the Director of Environmental Approval. So please, 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 whatever your opinion is on the Sio Silica Vivian Sand Extraction Project, please put your comments in. If you're not heard or if you're not registered for concerns with this project, then you may be overlooked and your voice will be silenced. I would suggest that our RM absolutely, because we're so affected by this, that our RM on our website puts a link to the environmental assessment process for residents. So that's a suggestion that I hope that we can all confirm and really want to advocate that people have awareness to the project, because it's a short window. It's less than a month. It's less than a month that the people can have their input on this project. The second item I just wanted to highlight is I'm so thankful for the residents of Springfield who came out in well, basically standing room only capacity at Cooks Creek on October 22nd. It was very well attended. Wonderful information was shared, not just by Councillor Kaczynski and I, but I'm thankful for Councillor Fuel and Warren for attending. I'm kind of disappointed the mayor didn't attend, but that's his own prerogative, of course, because it wasn't a, and I'll say it carte blanche, it wasn't an RM sanction event, but you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that when there are RM sanctioned events, we have less than a handful of people and generally no speakers. And the information at those events is not recorded. There's very few people who ask questions, and the ones who do are very directed at a specific councillor or the mayor. And so we can't share information. We don't know what the individual or the resident talked to about with other residents or with other councillors, so it's kind of ineffective. And I noticed in the Winnipeg Sun today, the mayor has a rebuttal about the unsanctioned meeting. So I'm going to get to that, not today, but at a future meeting, because I think there's a lot of misinformation, absolutely, but it's not actually coming from us. And you can determine who that's from. So thank you for those. Thank you for that.
Okay, any other comments, questions? And if I can get a show of hands of those in support of the elected officials' reports. Okay.
I would like to make comment, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much. Yeah, on your report, Mayor report, you have meeting with the Minister Simard and Councillor Fuel on October 2nd. Can we find out like what was meeting all about, who initiated that meeting, and why the other municipal officials or councillors wasn't included in that meeting? What was the reason for it?
I met with the minister at Heroes for Hearts, where our fire department were given an award there in Lac de Bonnie for the fire up in that area in the summer time there. I met with him and many other ministers that were all present there. I talked to lots of ministers. I talked to Minister Samar and asked him about our water treatment plant. So that's what it was about there, and he was kind enough to follow up on that and asked for a Zoom meeting. If he asked for a Zoom meeting, we agreed there, and so the deputy mayor and myself attended to that.
So why the other councillor wasn't aware about that meeting? Why you didn't include council? So who represented this municipality? Only mayor and Councillor Fuel?
Yes.
And that's what's happening in this municipality? Only two individuals representing this community?
Yeah, well, you and Councillor Miller have gone to legislative buildings and met with ministers, did you not? Yes or no?
No.
Well, that's not. You said that you had been to the legislative buildings.
Yeah, I've been with you, with Mr.
No, but you
with
by
Mr.
yourselves,
Simard.
you and Councillor Miller, you went to
No,
the
we
legislative
didn't
buildings.
meet with any minister in the legislation building.
Okay, I was wrong. I thought you guys
So,
said that you had.
what was discussed about our water treatment plant?
Well, the
Why
delay.
with Mr. Simard?
Well, because he was available and he was there. Minister, I forget who the Minister of Environment, Moise, wasn't there. I spoke to, like I say, many ministers there. I was talking to him, and I told him about the water treatment plant taking such a long time. He was concerned about that, and he was open for further discussions on that.
So what was this discussion? You discussed with them, like,
Water
can
treatment.
you put some details, and what did you ask him? Like,
why is it taking so long? It's 18 months for environmental license, 12 months since the last meeting that we had at the Cooks Creek, where only 20 people had shown up there, and it's concerning why it's taking so long for an environmental license. This is a water treatment plant that's being delayed, and there's many water treatment plants in the province like this. Probably some probably almost identical to this. Why it's taken so long, we had no idea. We are going through all the checks and balances there, through all the hoops there, and it's costing us a huge amount of money. The water board wanted us to have that meeting in Cooks Creek, and we had all our consultants present. It cost the RM tens of thousands of dollars for that, at least $10,000 for that, given all the people that were present. So we did that, and so why is it taking so long for our environmental license? This isn't a nuclear waste site; it's a water treatment plant. So I'm concerned why it's taken so long, and that was the whole gist of the meeting.
so what answer did you get?
He was going to look into it. I can't speak for him.
Okay, Councillor Warren, did you been advised about this meeting?
I was told about it, but I am too busy to do.
When you was told about it?
I don't recall.
Because I just get when this report came out,
I
and you
don't,
was told before that, before the report of Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
really?
I'm too busy with my own business stuff that I can't.
Why didn't you advise Councillor Miller and myself that you was advised about it?
There's only two of us that were going to be in attendance.
I was not included in it.
Just
so
myself, Deputy Mayor, and the CEO.
I know, but you was at least advised that this
Well-
meeting was happening. Me and Councillor Miller wasn't even advised that this meeting was happening. Maybe Councillor Fuel can add something to it. You was at that meeting. Maybe you can shed some light on it, like, and why we wasn't advised as a councillor.
This is just a simple meeting there to ask why it's taken so long for our license, our environmental license for a water treatment plant. We've done everything that we had within the local municipal level here. The minister was available to myself at this Hearts for Heroes there. In a short time later, we had this meeting that was available to the minister. We took advantage of it. Absolutely took advantage of it. And you know, that's part of my job to meet with the ministers where and when I can. I've met with the ministers, highways ministers twice under both governments there. We can't bring the whole entire council to every meeting there. That's kind of what the responsibility of the mayor job is there. And if I'm not around, the deputy mayor will take my spot. So that going forward there, speaking with the minister was a good thing. I'm hoping that it'll get some spark to see what's going on with our environmental license. It's required in the RM of Springfield here that we can get some growth going, and it's a necessity. It's not a want. It's a necessity there. Our water treatment plant is at its max. Our sewage is at its max. We have to progress. Infrastructure is important there, and it all rolls together. So. Any minister that's willing to lend his ear, and I commend Minister Simard, who's was very open there, and he was an extremely always been available to council.
Well, I would say there are probably reasons why it delayed. So we're not going to get into this now. But Mr. Mayor, I asked Councillor Fuel for answer, and you're answering for Councillor Fuel. I don't know. Councillor Fuel can answer on his own.
He can answer anytime he wants.
Okay, thank you.
Unless I've answered everything for him.
Yeah, basically the meeting was exactly what the mayor said, and it was about where we are with our water treatment plant and just trying to get the answers to see where we're at. There was some information that was needed. Administration was working on getting that information, and that's exactly what was talked about. Thank you.
So mayor doesn't advise councillor that they're going to have meeting with the ministers about very important issue like water treatment plant and our sewage, and deputy mayor doesn't advise councillors either. Doesn't look good for our community, and the way the mayor and deputy mayor, you know.
That's totally wrong, and it's inappropriate, to be honest with you.
What do you mean it's not? I'm just telling how it is.
It's inappropriate.
So we like Councillor Miller and myself, we don't count as a councillor. Mr. I mean, Councillor Warren was advised. Councillor Fuel was advised, and we wasn't advised. Why?
Well, you know, how Councillor Warren was made aware, I didn't say this is what's going on here, it's just going to be Glenn and I, so probably through some kind of discussion. How that evolved, I don't know. But either way, it's the deputy mayor and myself are present, and the CEO. We talked to the minister, his executive assistant there. The executive assistant was in the background taking notes, and he emailed somebody there, and I'm not going to speak on his behalf. So things were getting done and quickly. So that was nice to see that somebody in the background was actually doing something while we're actually talking together.
How long did the meeting last? That was so quick.
Typical meetings are like 15 minutes with the minister, and I'm thinking it's probably about 15 minutes.
So there was lots of questions and discussions about that, and you just summarized, we were just talking. I want to meat and potatoes, what was talking about, like, okay.
Water treatment plant.
Pardon me?
The water treatment plant.
Yeah, well, what did you ask about the treatment plant? Like, you explained here in 2 minutes to the to the residents and to myself, and then you speak for 15 minutes. So what did you guys speak?
I spoke for a few minutes, and then the minister had questions. His executive assistant had questions, so it lasted about 15 minutes.
So what kind of question did the minister ask from mayor and from Councillor Fuel?
Just questions with regards to the water treatment plant, and
Can you be specific, please? Like,
well,
I know you talk about.
If I was going to be interrogated, then maybe I would have made some
No, you're not
notes
interrogated. I send you the email so you be prepared to answer those questions, and you are not prepared for answer those questions.
I just answered your questions, Andy.
No,
we talked for 15 minutes.
The headlines. You're just stating the headlines of the meeting, not what I ask you about details of this meeting, not the headlines.
Well, I did. I talked to you there. Why the delay in the water treatment plant? We're ready to go. We've got our boring bylaw ready to go. We just need that environmental license, and then we can get into the tendering stage there, because time is important, and the costs are going to go or are going up for everything. Well, in Canada and the world, their costs are going up, and it's concerning to me why it's taken so long. So I just basically stated what my frustrations is why it's taken so long for an environmental license. It was brought to us that we're still missing a document there, and that person is not able to come forward with that document. So we've forwarded the documents that we had so far, waiting for her report from Calgary.
And I see you have a thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I see you have a report here about the launch and speeches by JohnQ. I know we wasn't advised because we didn't sign the non-disclosure form, but we're gonna have meeting with I guess JohnQ and everybody invited, so we'll be able to ask questions there because you don't want answers on the questions, so we're gonna ask them why we have to sign non-disclosure form. I don't know even.
Listen, Andy, I think you're being rude.
How are you being rude asking questions?
No, you're making little comments there. You're not making questions there. You're making derogatory comments. Simply said, you guys failed to sign the non-disclosure agreement 2 years ago. The council has been made aware of all the 17 or the 12 RMs that are involved in this. All the councils have signed our non-disclosure agreements. And everybody's been kept up to date except for yourselves. So because you're saying you're not getting all the answers, it's because you haven't signed a non-disclosure agreement. I don't know how much more easier it is to say than that.
We're supposed to be transparent government, and we have to sign non-disclosure agreement with the cooperation that we don't know nothing about it.
Absolutely not. But to get advised, an update to get advised and updated on this, it was a contract that's been going on for over 2 years. And anybody who's done business there knows that if there's a contract out there, you don't divulge the contracts.
So
this is a contract that's at high levels. It's involving it's a global initiative there that's coming down to the WRRP. So I can't say why you didn't sign a non-disclosure agreement. That's up to you. You guys are grown up there. You want to be kept in the dark. That's fine.
I think just to clarify, the non-disclosure was for the rail port project.
Only, yes.
Which information was provided on October 14th publicly to council. So that project is now public. So the non-disclosure is no longer required.
Okay, so if not required, then mayor can talk to us about the whole JohnQ. Can you explain to the public what JohnQ is, what JohnQ represents to our municipality, why you're a member of it? Because I don't think so public even is aware about it. And we cannot speak on it because we don't know nothing about it.
Well, the JohnQ is a private enterprise there. It's been in place for, I don't know, 6-7 years, and it's an investment there. This WRRP project there will give the RM, the 12 RMs, access to the $131 million that's potential taxes there, and we can share in that. But this is still a project that's evolving, so I don't want to get too far with regards to those details. And on the 19th of November, when you and Councillor Miller, should you choose to go, you could ask those questions. What we've been doing there is JohnQ Daycare is an extremely successful component. We've got JohnQ Lift, which is an electronics component there. There is multi-unit housing that we're getting involved in there, where we're not allowed. We're getting into place where we can have. I call it quick build, but that's not the right term. But building of semi high density housing, which is part of the federal component of what they want to see for the housing initiative going forward by our PM Carney. So when we're talking there with regards to everything in there, JohnQ Daycare is now put on the back burner there. So we have to hope that we can get some daycares start running there, because we're in sore need of daycares. I was hoping that we could look at a JohnQ Daycare in our 39 acres of land that we got by Elm Drive there. So we can't have that now. So going forward, we have to start planning with regards to other enterprises there that might help us in our daycare.
Mr. Mayor, you're saying that we're going to receive this $131 million benefits. Who's going to be financing that whole project?
Well, the contracts are still being run there, so I can't give you all those details because we're still in a period of. And I know the CEO said that it's open there. It's not. There's still some parts that we can't be discussing because there is some contracts to be signed. It's Chimawaywan Nation there, Treaty 5 that have are the point persons with regards to this. Chief Easter, I met with him and his council at this meeting there in Rashad. So there is some further tweaks with legal and finances as well. So the non-disclosure agreement is still in place. So
we're counting the eggs, but we don't know what chicken. We don't have chicken yet. Like, we don't know who's going to finance this. We don't know where the money coming from, but we know already how much profit's going to be there. Like empty promises again. Like,
you have your opinion, and that's fine. But it's not empty promises.
Well, it's not opinion.
You have to start off somewhere, Andy.
That's what you stated in the last or two council meeting, that we're going to get all this money, and yet we don't know who's going to be financing this whole project and even going to go forward.
That's part of the agreements that are being looked at right now. There is a period of 90 days where there's no real discussions that are going on except for the legal department, Chimawaywan. And their consultants and our consultants.
This is almost looks the same like Sio promised that we're going to get 8,000 jobs, and they don't know even that they're going to mine, but they already promised, oh, we're going to have all these jobs, like, you know, empty promises. And this is not that empty promise, because nothing is happening yet. We don't know how much money going to be involved, how much our municipality have to contribute to this project. You don't get money from something that you don't contribute. Money doesn't grow on the trees. Somebody have to put that money up front. Thank you for your answers. I really appreciate that. And community will understand what JohnQ is all about. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other questions with regards? Councillor Miller?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would kind of echo what Councillor Kaczynski said. I feel kind of out of the loop, and not because I'm in Kenya, but because if you're having these important meetings with the minister, you would think that you would at least advise us and encourage us. Now we see that Councillor Fuel was invited, and somehow Councillor Warren was or knew about it, but yet Councillor Kaczynski and I didn't. So you bring your great hockey skills to council when defending and deflecting, but please be more. Wow. Please be more inclusive and try to include us. You wonder why the media, and even you, I guess, go to the media and say there's division and animosity in council, but it's clearly evident if you don't keep us in the loop. How can we work as a team? We ought to all be working with the team. We have differences, Mr. Mayor, you know that, and that's okay. Democracy needs differences of opinion, and that's healthy for a democracy, but if you keep excluding us and avoiding us like the plague, like you did at Cooks Creek, all other members of council attended, but somehow you don't want to come and answer or listen to what residents have to say when there's 300 people, that's kind of disappointing. So you can shovel Councillor Kaczynski and I off to the races, but to avoid the public, and even tonight, trying to not allow Dr. Page to speak to an issue that's so integrally important, raising our own salaries, we'll speak to it, but that's kind of ridiculous. Thank you.
Well, I don't see a question there. I see more of a comment there. Keeping you in the loop, like I said before, you chose to be not in that loop by not signing a non-disclosure agreement. So don't start saying now that you're a victim of not being in the loop there. That was your choice made at that time there, and that was on your advice, or somebody gave you that advice. It's not good advice. So that's to be left in the dark is not a good choice. It's not good governance. It's not serving the people that everybody represents here. So that said, there we can conclude this.
Mr. Mayor, you already kind of don't make any sense. Mark Miller was talking about our meeting, that you wasn't there. He wasn't talking about JohnQ when he mentioned that to you. And you deflected, you're talking about JohnQ, that we didn't put not disclosure agreement, we didn't sign it. You have to listen to what people are saying to you, what question they ask, because that doesn't make any sense what you answer to Councillor Miller. Thank you.
Thank you. If we can move on then, if I can get a show of hands adopting the elected officials report. First show of hands of support. That is unanimous and so carried. Why don't we go to departmental reports, please? That's 6.2, a mover and a seconder, please. Fuel and Warren. Any questions with regards to departmental reports? Councillor Kaczynski.
Thank you. I looked this facility report, and I see that we're counting trees and oak bank. And how much it's going to cost us to maintain trees and oak bank? And why we counting only trees and oak bank? We don't count trees across the whole municipality, like private property. Those are trees too, and we protect the environment. Everybody has trees, and so we're just going to take care of the trees in Oak Bank, but maybe Dugald and Canola, but not for the rest of the municipality? Can somebody explain that?
Sorry, where are you seeing this in facilities report?
Well, it's in the facilities. Yeah.
Is that under asset management?
No, it's not facility. Well, the department that make
I believe it's
assessment
asset
management or special projects. Yeah, probably that's what it is. Yeah, yeah, it's there. I'm sorry, a different department. Yeah, but yeah, okay, it's on page 8 of 20. So we have just trees counted in Oak Bank. Are we going to count the trees across the whole municipality? And what was the reason for it?
So I think on page 5, it talks about a tree inventory scope. The assessment focused exclusively on municipally owned street and park trees. Private property trees and overall canopy coverage were not included, but future aerial canopy studies could complement this database or data set, sorry. They're completing a full tree inventory of all municipal owned trees. It's going to take time, so they're probably just reporting on what's been done. I know they've done the cemeteries with the new plantings there, and they're doing tree health condition assessments in Oak Bank and Dugald, and that will move on to other areas, but they can't do everything all at once. So
we're going to count the trees on all municipality owned properties? Like
correct.
By the roads and ditches, and we have lots of tree growing in the ditches, so we're going to count those too?
So a lot of these tree programs where we get 10,000 free trees or 50,000 trees, there's a requirement for us to report on the maintenance and care of them. So we have to do a tree inventory to take advantage of these free tree plantings.
And from that, we're going to have budget set up for maintaining these trees?
We do now, yeah.
Oh, we do. So how much is going to cost us to maintain trees in Ogden?
Council passed a resolution not too long ago. We hired a company to do a tree inventory for us, and now we budget for the watering, replacement of dead trees, and doing that assessment. So it's going to be a yearly budget.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? I see none. Or Councillor Warren?
I have more of a comment just on Public Works. I just have to say thank you to the grader operators that worked on the weekend. Some of our roads were full of potholes and a lot of washboards. So thank you very much. With the weather turning nicer, it's nice to see the grader trying to get rid of some of these potholes.
Thank you very much. I see no other questions. Then if I can get a show of hands, those in support of adopting the departmental report, 6.2. That is unanimous, so carried. If we can go to item 8.1, that's bylaw 2517, Indemnity By-Law. This is the first reading. Can you get a mover and a seconder, please? Warren and Fuel. Anybody like to start us off there? Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, I'd just like to start off with the indemnity bylaw. The amount of $37,454.40 per annum is what we make today. There's no increase in that. The only increase that is proposed here is an additional 2% for the year 2026, which brings us to the end of our term. And also that that is for the cost of living, why that 2% is put in. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Kaczynski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to ask who put this item on the agenda? We already voted last council meeting or 2 weeks ago and was defeated. Why are we having again on the agenda?
It's a different bylaw number. It's assigned to it, and it's time to get this out of the way. There's no rhyme or reason for it. It was defeated a couple of weeks ago, and we're here to look at it again there. And now that Councillor Warren is present, then everybody is present, so we can discuss it. I have just some comments with regards to this there. I looked into the inflation rates there of 2021, 3.4, 6.8 in 2022, 3.9 in 23, and then the projection for this year is 3.4%. We have to maintain like our salary is I find it's good. It's a matter of attracting people that can do the job, and let's face it. Just look at some of the crazy things that are going on a little bit south of us here. These, I won't even make any comments with regards to it, but things are getting kind of crazy. Just why somebody would coming into council. This is kind of a it's one of those things where people start looking there. Why would I subject myself to this? I think that in traveling there and in discussions with people there, it's on the forefront of people's thoughts. Why would they come into council there? So having a 2% cost of living basically is what I call it. This is my terminology that I'm calling it there. Is good, and I would be adopting. I would go for that. The option is there for to somebody to opt out, so that's fine. So there's an option in and there's an option out. To look at it that way, there's nobody's forcing anybody to take the 2%. That said, we have to attract and retain the people for council and make things better for the next generation of council that's coming in after ourselves there. So this is just the first reading. Councillor Warren.
I'm just checking, make sure I'm unmuted here and stuff. So when we talk about this, yes, I missed the first one. And then going forward, knowing that the Auditor General said that our indemnity bylaw doesn't match with our other bylaw. Our two bylaws have to work together. And so whether something was defeated, the Auditor General still needs us to fix all the issues. And I like that in the meeting that I missed, Councillor Miller was able to put in that you can opt out of that. I had a couple emails today about the mayor receiving a raise of $10,000. That is not about giving the mayor a raise. This is strictly our bylaw working with our other bylaw. And if a council doesn't want to take that 2% per year, they can choose not to. And I believe, Councillor Miller, you have opted out, I believe, since you were elected, to not take that. And I read the clipper. So Andy, you had said that possibly you would give yours to a charity or a food bank or whatnot, which is great. You know, I like that that option is in there. And I know that the Auditor General, when they investigated, it wasn't from this term. This was, you know, from 2019, and it was based over so many months that the Auditor General had their issue or found the issue, which is nice of them to bring it up. We are trying to correct what the Auditor General is trying to tell us. So that is why it's been brought up again. It's not about council giving themselves raises, because we can opt out to that 2% of cost of living. So that's my comment.
Thank you. Councillor Krasinski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I say again, I don't want to raise, or I'm gonna, whatever is happened, gonna be donated to the food bank. But I agree that we have to correct whatever Attorney General, Auditor General put there in the report. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm disagreeing with the council giving increase themselves and they voting. That I have problem with it. We did for the 2 years, and now I think we should stop. And I give you the reason why I'm making this statement, because council took the away question period from a resident. So they don't want to see a resident in this chamber doing the question period. And if they come, they could question why we require this increase when we even don't respect our residents. Secondly, we lowered the threshold of delegation. It was delegation before 15 minutes. Now we turned down to 10 minutes only because we're going to have more delegation. Now, Dr. Page want to have, you know, delegation, and he's rejected by council. So why this council doesn't want work for the residents, and yet they asking for the pay from residents, from the taxpayers who paying our wages here? How is this even possible? How the council feel that we cannot have question period? We're rejecting our residents in this community, and yet we're asking them for, you know, saying, oh, they deserve a raise. I don't think so. This is really acceptable to me, and I don't think so it's acceptable to the resident. The council is here that work with the residents, not that doesn't want the residents to be in this council. So that's my opinion, and I'm gonna say I'm not gonna vote for this increase, and I don't think so. Every other councillor should reject that increase too, the way that they voted to get rid of our residents coming to this chamber and talk with us as a council. We was elected to service the people. We wasn't elected to service ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Unless there's other questions, Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. First off, I want to say I would never, ever, ever support a self-initiated pay increase. I think it's wrong. I think politicians are put in a bad light because it's exactly what they do, whether it be formerly the House of Commons or the Manitoba Legislature. Now they have an independent body assess that. So it seems like it's self-righteous, it's self-benefiting, it excludes the public for input. Again, Councillor Kaczynski said the public can't even speak to this. How do they gauge our performance? I have to say that our performance has probably not been particularly positive as a group. What achievements have we made? Are we measuring our own achievements on behalf of the public, but yet we're giving our own selves raises? What the piece I do like, and I have to say, the piece I do like is that we can opt out. So that's an important and critical element to this, as well as what Councillor Warren and Kaczynski also said, is that we need to harmonize it to what the Auditor General said. But we can take it and amend it and change it. We don't need to give ourselves a pay increase, even with that opt-out issue. The justification is that, you know, you have to attract the best candidates. And I think if money is a driver, then frankly, that's the wrong driver. We don't need people on council who are there to line their pockets to get more money. That's what's absolutely wrong to start. That's the starting point. That's what's absolutely wrong. We need people who are going to care about the public, who are going to respond to the public, and frankly, who are going to listen to the public always. Not have on their November agenda a pay increase. That's atrocious. That's wrong. And it should never happen. Thank you.
This is to update our indemnity there, the 2% there. Other RMs are getting more, and I'm not saying that we have to match them, but it's just a 2% increase on our indemnities there. When it comes down to attracting people, we have to have money in place. If somebody's going to give up their time, they have to be compensated for that, and we have to attract that person that's a person that's retired like myself to come out of retirement to do the job. It wasn't based on money. This was my oath is strictly to the RM of Springfield. It wasn't money based. Absolutely not. The stuff that going forward there is just look to update the indemnities to what the 2% rate is there, and I think we've been collecting that for months now. When we do our indemnities forms there, it's already on there. So that said, we're going to be able to do the first reading on this, and then we can vote unless there's any other questions. And I see none. Councillor Kaczynski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to split this Auditor General report and vote on this, but I'm not going to vote I'm going to vote no for the increase the wages for a council.
Okay. Why don't we do the resolution then we can vote. What's that? Oh, can I get a mover and seconder for the resolution to be read? Warren and Fuel.
Be it resolved that first reading be given to bylaw number 2517, being a bylaw of the RM of Springfield to establish the rates, taxable allowances, types, and conditions of payment to or on behalf of members of the Council of the RM of Springfield.
I'll pose the first question. Those in support of bylaw 2517, Indemnity By-Law, first reading. Those in support? That's Councillors Warren, Fuel, and Tarian. Those opposed? Councillors Fuel and Miller and Kaczynski. It is so passed. Then if we can go on to, excuse me there for a second. Consent agenda. We have a consent agenda for items 10.1, 10.2, 10.3, 4. We have a heck of a lot of them. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 9. So 10 ending at 10.9. So that's items 10.1 to 10.9. The consent agenda. Is everybody good with the consent agenda as read? Okay. Then if,
Just need a mover and seconder,
can I get a
please.
mover and a seconder for that, please? Fuel and Tarian?
And if I could just mention 10.5 on the consent agenda is the Notice Environmental Act proposal for Sio Silica Corp. So it does have that link for the public to follow to submit their comments. Once this is received by council, we will be putting this on our social media and website, and it did go out in our newsletter for November as well. So.
And that's for the 1st of December. Go ahead.
December 1st, yeah.
Thank you, Mayor. And here it's a note about in a clipper. I read that clipper 3 times and I missed it. So I don't know how many other residents can miss this advertising by notice on environmental act proposal. So residents have till December 1st to oppose. I think we will all be affected by if something happened to our water. So I will advise community to really put effort and try to send as many letters and notices to the government, to environmental commission, I guess, to respond to this note. So it's right here.
Councillor Kozinski, can you just tell them the page that you're on?
Yeah, it's,
that would be more helpful.
It's on a page 17 and paper. It's October 30th, 2025.
Thank you.
Page 17. Thank you.
And it's on page 1 of 10.5 as well. So 1st of December. Okay, so if everybody's in agreement with that, can I get a show of hands for consent agenda for those items as specified? That is unanimous, so carried. Then we can go to new business, 11.1. That's a Red River Basin Land and Water International Summit Conference. Mover and a seconder, please. Tarian and Fuel.
Be resolved that all of council be delegated to attend the Red River Basin Land and Water International Summit Conference, January 13th to 15th, 2026 in Winnipeg at their discretion.
Any questions for council? Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Mayor. Just asking the CEO what the cost is for registration and participation at that conference.
Don't think we have it. It was a save the date with minimal information at this point. So it said more details to follow. So I will have to get back to council on what the cost is. I think it switches from, it's usually held in Fargo, and then the year it's held in Winnipeg. That's usually when all of council tries to attend.
So we'll get the details on that. Good with that? Okay. I get a show of hands for the Red River Basin Land Water International Summit. Or Andy, good with that?
No.
Okay, it's Warren, Fuel, and Tarian. Are those opposed? Miller and Kaczynski, so passed. 11.2 Municipal Government Awareness Week, November 23rd to the 29th. Mover and a seconder, please. Tarian and Warren.
Now therefore be it resolved that Council of the RM of Springfield hereby proclaims the week of November 23rd to 29th, 2025 as Local Government Awareness Week.
Thank you. Any questions, council? I see none. I get a show of hands of those in support. That is unanimous, so carried. Then if we go to 11.3, that's a nuisance mosquito larviciding program there. Mover and a seconder. Tarian and Fuel.
Be it resolved that Council of the RM of Springfield approve payment in the amount of $20,000 to the City of Winnipeg, being the RM of Springfield's contribution for the 2025 nuisance mosquito larviciding program.
Questions from council at all? I see none, so I can pose a question. Those in support? That is unanimous, so carried. 11.4, mover and a seconder, please. Warren and Tarian.
Therefore, be it resolved that the RM of Springfield lobby the federal and provincial governments with these concerns, and further be it resolved that the RM of Springfield asks the Association of Manitoba Municipalities and the Federation of Canadian Municipalities to lobby the federal and provincial governments for compensatory payments to affected agricultural and related food products equal to and in line with those payments that have been made to the automotive industry on a per capita or basis, the impact on Canadian gross domestic products.
I guess I should have asked for the questions or comments. I had a comment there. This, in my opinion, is not a resolution. It doesn't fall within the scope of our ability to make a resolution on it. It's the mandate is with the provincial and the federal governments charged with this portfolio. So I don't know if this falls within our scope. So I'll be voting no on that. Any other comments at all? And if I can pose the question with regards to what's been read, those first question, those in support. That's Warren, Kaczynski, Fuel, and Miller. Those opposed, Tarian, so passed. And then we can go to 11.5, please. That's a JohnQ project information session for November the 19th in Winnipeg. Mover and a seconder, please. Kaczynski and Fuel.
Be it resolved that all of council be delegated to attend the JohnQ project information session on November 19th, 2025 in Winnipeg.
Questions at all from council? Councillor Miller first.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, to the CEO, any costs associated with participating at this?
It'll just be our indemnities. There's no costs from JohnQ. Councillor Kaczynski?
Yeah, we kind of, I don't know if it's rumor or not, but apparently Colleen Sklar resigned as a director of or president of this organization.
You said she did?
Yeah.
Where's
Did
that?
she?
Is it written?
No, I don't know. I said it's rumors. Did she resign or not, her position?
I can't comment on employment matters. So if it's not out there, I can't comment on it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions at all? I see none. Then if I can get a show of hands of those in support. As unanimous, so carried. Then if we can go to the 2026 council schedule, 11.6, please. Mover and a seconder, Tarian and Warren.
Be it resolved that the 2026 council schedule be approved as presented.
Questions from council at all? Sorry, I'm losing my voice here. No questions? Then if I can get a show of hands, those in support. Unanimous, so carried. Then we'll go to request for municipal land lease under land location there. Mover and a seconder, please. Fuel and Tarian.
Be resolved that council authorize the lease of Southwest 1211 East and Northwest 1211 East to Ron Wozni until December 31st, 2027.
Questions from council at all? I see none. If I can get a show of hands, those in support. So passed. Now we'll go into a closed meeting. Can I get a mover and a seconder for going into a closed meeting, please? Kaczynski and Warren. We'll go into a closed meeting at 7:08 p.m. Oh, can I get a vote? Those for closed meeting? That is unanimous, so carried. Sorry, I forgot about that. Thank you.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Thank you. We'll be coming out of a closed meeting at 7:36 p.m. If I can move her in a second or two, come out of the closed meeting, please. Kaczynski and Warren. I got a show of hands come out. It's unanimous, so carried. We had one matter that has arisen that was arisen from the closed meeting. It's a resolution that we'll read, and then we'll be prepared to vote on it. I get a mover and a seconder for that, please. Warren and Kaczynski.
Be resolved that Council of the RM of Springfield approve a grant in the amount of $7,386.51 for the Sunrise Performing Arts Center of Excellence.
With that being read, I'll pose the question. Those in support first. That is unanimous and so carried. Then at this time here, there's no further matters before us, and we're prepared to close the meeting at 7:37 or adjourn the meeting at 7:37. Thank you very much.
Recording stopped.